1, 2, is this on?
And now, coming to you live on NewAgeInsiders.com.
We are the premier place for wrestling fans to connect, discuss, and to be heard.
Please welcome Jason Maltoff.
We watch wrestling to enjoy. If you're not enjoying it, why are you watching?
Liam Stryker.
If I told you once, I told you 1,000 times. Storytelling, storytelling, storytelling.
And Bill Neville.
Unpredictability is the answer. When wrestling's unpredictable, it's at its best.
Get ready.
This is Warbeard Hansen.
This is Johnny Mundo.
This is Donovan Dijak.
Say hello to the bad guy, Scott Hall.
This is Mean Gene Okerlund.
This is Zack Ryder.
Hey, this is Cody Rhodes.
Hi, this is Howard Finkel.
Hi, this is good old JR Jim Ross. I'm Bill Goldberg, and the New Age Insiders are next. You ready? You feel it?
Oh, baby.
Yeah,
I'm ready. I can feel it. I'm excited for this match.
Yeah.
Or this show.
I am too. I'm excited. We haven't even talked about it yet.
No.
But I'm excited to see what goes on last.
Yeah.
Because Ronda Rousey's here. The women keep making history.
I still think that the men are on last.
I thought that about the Royal Rumble, too.
Yeah, the thing is with Ronda swirling, I thought the women would close.
Is that the same factor going into the night?
No.
Biggest star that's, in the building is there?
The thing is,
Woman.
I also think we see The Rock tonight, but
Ooh, wow.
that's a hot take.
That's
a hot take.
You're on your own on that one. But yeah, I don't know if the women are going to close or not. I just know that, like you said, I didn't expect the women to close the Royal Rumble. Yeah, but Ronda Rousey was there. Yeah, I didn't expect the women to close the Elimination Chamber. Yeah, but Ronda Rousey is there.
Yeah, but I don't think that Ronda Rousey, the Ronda Rousey segment will be in the middle of the show.
Okay. No, right. Oh, I agree with that. I don't think that her, signing a piece of paper closes. I'm just saying that, what if Alexa Bliss successfully retains her title and then Ronda Rousey comes out and goes, "You're dead." You know what I mean?
See, I think it goes the other way. I think Ronda Rousey signs her contract. Whoever the champion is comes out and says, "You're dead."
Okay, maybe. That would be bold.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to present Ronda Rousey as, everybody's afraid of her. Maybe everybody but Charlotte.
But everybody online has been mad at her.
Yeah.
So I would assume that the person comes out saying, "I'm not afraid of you."
Hope so.
It
depends on who the champion is, obviously, but that's something that Alexa Bliss. That is something that
Right.
Bliss would say, and we'll talk all about that and who's going to win. We know that we are doing this show pretty early, and we didn't give you guys a ton of notice. The phone lines are going to be open in just a few minutes. We're going to kind of talk about what we think is going to happen, and then we'll open it up. And if people are listening live and want to give us a call, we see you out there. Please do have this number saved in your phone by now at 508-202-1624, 508-202-1NAI, and we will be taking your calls and talking to you about what you think is going to happen at Elimination Chamber. And if you're not listening live, if it's later on in the afternoon or you're catching this right before the pay-per-view, well, we do appreciate you listening, and we will be live after WWE Elimination Chamber. We'll be on NewAgeInsiders.com and Mixlr and all those usual audio outlets, as well as twitch.tv/New Age Insiders Pop. And speaking of videos, make sure that you're checking out our YouTube. There's new content going up there all the time. The Rant with Ant is posting the Rapid Rant. So we're really, as this joint venture with the Rant with Ant and all that we've got going on video-wise continues and rolls on, we encourage you to start watching this show on Twitch. People that do it are loving it. There have been people that I've talked to backstage at Chaotic shows that have told me they never listen live on Wednesdays, but now every Wednesday night they watch it.
Yeah.
And so people that are doing it are having a good time. I think it really adds to the experience. And again, make sure you're following us on basically everything, Instagram, Facebook, but also on YouTube as new stuff drops there all the time. And again, we'll be live after the chamber. We definitely want to hear from you and what you think is going to happen. We take calls from all around the world. You can be one of those calls, 508-202-1624, as we all watch what I think is going to be a pretty good show. Right now, there's no reason to believe it's not going to be a good show.
Right.
And that's not just because of the card necessarily. It's just because right now, in the words of Michael Scott, how the turntables... Because right now, Raw can do no wrong, and SmackDown is, I think, struggling to find its identity again. And right now, everything that Raw's doing is pretty great stuff.
Right.
I mean, last week's Raw was an all-timer. Is this pay-per-view going to be an all-timer? Probably not.
No.
But can it be really, really fun and really, it's like, the best way to launch us into the next one's Mania? Yeah, I definitely think it can.
Well, you also look into I said this on that wrestling show on Nessun, and it's they've done a great job both on the SmackDown end of things and the Raw end of things in making these pay-per-views actually feel like they matter. In most cases, Fastlane and Elimination Chamber don't feel like they matter, right? It just feels like something we have to get through after the Royal Rumble and before WrestleMania. So having this means something for a number one contendership, having the historic women's Elimination Chamber, I really think has a lot. Oh, even Nia Jax and Asuka, which I think is a slam dunk, but the fact that we're doing it and could potentially have real implications for that match at WrestleMania.
You know why that match is going to be good as far as just like, well, why are we doing it? It's because Asuka can't be in the chamber. She's already a number one contender. So sticking her in a
match,
her opportunity is at Mania.
Well, it's the same thing that like we talked about at with Braun Strowman in the men's chamber, where it's like this will be the first time that Braun Strowman will have to be pinned, because in the Survivor Series match, he was on the winning team. In these multi-man scramble situations like a Fatal 4-Way or the Triple Threat at the Royal Rumble, he doesn't get pinned, but doesn't...
He gets to stand next to Triple H and then hurt Triple H.
Yeah, but no, and then in the Triple Threat, Kane lost. Braun Strowman just didn't win.
Right.
You know,
there's real intrigue for that, and we'll talk about it. But you're right. So there's that. She is the Braun Strowman equivalent in this division.
Right. So it's like Asuka, if she was in this chamber, would have to win because she's undefeated.
Yep. And you know why this is better than, for a lot of reasons, quite frankly. But you know why this is better than her just like, wrestling Mickie James or wrestling Bayley for some reason. You know what I mean? Is because I think you can believe, for two reasons, Nia Jax being a credible threat to this streak.
Yeah.
Is Nia Jax going to win tonight?
Probably not.
No. But here's why she's the most likely candidate to do it tonight. A, she's Nia Jax. She's huge and she's scary, and if she can win any fight she's in, whatever. And the second thing is that I think, spoiler alert for later on the show, I think Alexa Bliss is going to successfully retain.
Yeah.
And it feels like the person that would go after her and have a built-in story with her is Nia Jax, so you can see her getting infused somewhere in that match, because if not for Asuka's Royal Rumble win, it would feel like we're building towards Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax.
The frenemies thing that they've been going on.
So, look, I'm not predicting her to win, but at the same time, good for them for being like, look, she could.
Yeah.
And this streak will end eventually. And ask The Undertaker, sometimes it just happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So who knows? Let's start with the bottom and work our way to the chambers.
The fun part is that this is only like a 4-match card.
Which is fun.
Right.
Which is
because that means that everybody's going to get time.
I agree. And also it's because that's all this has to be. Like, look, with all due respect to everyone that we like that's not in the thing, all of our horses are here in these chambers.
Right.
All of and then Asuka and Nia Jax. Right. Those are our horses. And so, like, I can't even think of who, didn't get
the people that don't have a technical like an announced match is the Bar.
Right. And the tag champions
You know
should
what I
probably
mean?
be doing something.
But I
fine.
think
They're in a tag match.
Are they wrestling
for the titles against Titus?
That's
and
what I
Apollo.
thought that fourth match was, But so sorry, Bo Dallas isn't on this card tonight.
Right.
You might not see
the thing is,
Slater and Rhino.
Well, the thing is Bo Dallas might get involved in the chamber.
Right. We don't need, like, literally, I'd be comfortable if this pay-per-view was the chamber matches. Good night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like an hour-long special.
Yeah, right. Well, look how good the gauntlet match was.
Right.
At 9
2 hours.
At 9:50, they should have been like, good night, everybody. Instead of ending 20 minutes late, we're going to end an hour and 10 minutes early. You good with that? Great.
And here's Todd Chrisley.
Right,
he's going to use a shake weight.
It's must-see TV.
That was the most amazing
And
thing.
the funniest thing, all the family was like, I don't get it. And he just goes, give it to me. And then he just like is a pro.
Just goes to town.
Because he's got solid muscle.
Even had the mouth open and everything.
He's got the muscle memory down.
He
He's just like,
crushed that.
I know how to use one of
I
these
got
two
this, honey.
hickeys.
I got this.
Honey, let's go. let's go into the bedroom real quick. This has got me all sorts of Twitter pated.
yeah.
Go in there and
Definitely
make my
Twitter-pated.
Yuck. Your lady bits.
Slimy pita pocket.
So yeah, your little slimy pita pocket. So let's talk about the bottom and go up to the chamber matches.
All right, so starting on the pre-show, we have a tag team match for absolutely nothing. It's Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson against Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel.
Try to contain that level of excitement.
Whoa, baby.
Try.
Whoa, baby.
Gallows Anderson versus who? One more time.
Mr. Raj.
Gallows and Anderson are going to easily destroy
I hate that I have to think about it in this company, but yeah.
But the thing that I do like about this is that they're actively trying to use Gallows and Anderson more.
Yep.
You know, I do appreciate that. I feel like they're poised for a little bit of a breakout after tonight.
I hope so. I definitely think that Finn Balor and Gallows and Anderson were the plan before Dean Ambrose's injury, and now I think they're kind of in I wouldn't call it a holding pattern, but yeah. The biggest shame for me with Dean Ambrose's injury is that I really think that the Shield versus the Balor Club at WrestleMania was on the table.
Was the plan.
And that just somebody else might have got Brock. And now, as things change.
Yeah.
But neither here nor there to the fact that at least the Balor Club, I think, is supposed to be a big deal. I love that. And so, yeah, Gallows and Anderson most certainly have to win. And I usually don't use the word have to or the phrase have to because it's wrestling, you know what I mean?
No one has to do anything.
Jinder Mahal, all these stereotypes people want to throw at me, right? But they have to win this because this is the bigger picture here. So them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that was it.
No, you have nothing more to add to this match?
No, I mean, look, here's the thing. Bo Dallas and Mr. Raj, or the Mr. Raj is going to get out there. They're going to do some silly, wacky nonsense. Yeah. It's going to be fun as a pre-show match, and then it's going to be over, and we're not going to think about it ever again.
Okay.
All right, the first match on the main card we're going to discuss is Bray Wyatt taking on Woken Matt Hardy.
Okay.
This is not as fun as it should have been.
Yeah, go ahead.
It feels like my issue with Woken Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt is that it feels like this has never really gotten going. It feels like a
laugh battle every single week.
Right, and it doesn't feel like there's any substance to this. It feels like
there's no substance to the Matt Hardy gimmick, and you're right. But think about that. Substance is the word you use.
Right.
To not like he once played checkers against a fish.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And yet we can't even do that right. The Woken Matt Hardy is not great. Terrible.
Is not great.
It's not, because here's the thing, right? And because I'm just trying to be honest with you here, because I wanted to like this as much as anybody else did. Matt Hardy is not, nor has he ever been, a great solo wrestler.
No.
Matt Hardy, you could almost always argue, was the 6th most talented person in those TLC matches.
And you're right.
Sometimes the 7th when Lita got involved.
Yeah. And sometimes the 8th because that meant Rhino got involved.
Right. And sometimes the 9th because Spike Dudley was there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, you see what I'm saying here? But always last. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so Matt Hardy reinvented himself not because he learned a new moveset and started crossfitting his way to cardio excellence. It's because the character was so bombastic and flamboyant and unbelievable, truly without hyperbole, something the wrestling business had never quite seen before. Right? And that character and all of its not to mention all of its 45 minutes of airtime per week.
Oh, yeah.
Because Impact was like, we're going to let Matt do whatever we want and throw some matches at the end.
It also was because they would do it all themselves, show up, go, TNA, here are the tapes.
Yeah, play this.
Because
you have no roster.
Because you have no roster and you don't have any people.
Yeah, because the Aces and Eights is stupid. So play this tape.
And it has been dead for years because Bubba Ray is back in the WWE.
Exactly. So that is what broken Matt Hardy's thing was. It was like, I've never seen a wrestling match that was supposed to be in canon that took place in somebody's barn.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll say it. It was the room of wrestling gimmicks.
Yes,
it was so, because this guy was trying and knew what he was doing, but at some point I thought was really losing himself in the work. And if you ask somebody to recreate it,
Couldn't do it.
WWE.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's just this guy, and you can tell it's not Matt Hardy's fault, because I bet you Matt Hardy goes, "This is what I want to do," and they're like, "Come on, Matt, we
can't do that.
We're gonna keep this at a 3 when you've been working at a 15 all this time." Woken Matt Hardy is terrible. All he does is laugh at Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt then cuts a Bray Wyatt promo on him, and I love Bray Wyatt. You know I love Bray Wyatt, but when it comes down to him just being like, "You are doomed to be a scarecrow in my wilderness," and it's like, I don't even know what that means.
So the issue is that with these two characters, they're so entrenched in like actual character development that we haven't gotten.
Well, we haven't got an explanation as to why Matt's this flippin' weird.
Right. And so it starts with him, right? Because he talks about the Woken Warriors, and he talks about how Bray Wyatt and him have battled through the centuries, and it's like, what does that mean? Yeah. Because all of those words sound fun.
It sounds interesting.
It sounds fun, but it's like a choose your own adventure, right? That we're like not changing to any of the pages.
This is the problem I have with it, is because what we have to do with WWE sometimes is they give us this great tagline to a movie they're never gonna make.
What's in the lockbox?
Right, exactly. And so you got to use our imaginations to kind of fill in the gaps here. Like, one of the things, and I know I bring this up all the time, it's my favorite WWF storyline ever, so I'm gonna say it. One of the reasons that Kane and The Undertaker is such great fiction was they left very little to our imagination, and the stuff they left to our imagination was just the kind of way Spider-Man does and Batman does. But I know what happened, and it's just then my mind goes a little wild. With Kane and The Undertaker, they told me Kane and The Undertaker were brothers. The Undertaker burned down the childhood home. He thought he killed them all. Kane actually survived. Paul Bearer found him, knows where he was. He's been living basically under bridges and in squalor because he's burned to pieces and deformed.
Right.
I got him this mask. I snuck him in the back door. I told him where you are.
And he wants to kill you.
And he's going to kill you. He's basically Michael Myers. You're basically Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And everything from there is my mind getting to go a little wild with a great piece of fiction. With Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, what they give you is the seed. Yeah. I fill in the gap, my brain. I'm assuming that Sister Abigail is something that is an entity, much like the way kind of like those movies. What is it? What's the
Conjuring?
No, what's the found footage ones?
Oh, it's Paranormal Activity.
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, she's some sort of voodoo demon.
Exactly, that can go from body to body. Bray Wyatt played into that on Twitter that one time when somebody goes, "I thought you were Husky Harrison." He said, "I needed a vessel and he needed a way."
Yeah,
which is just like, oh yeah, I was. The body is.
Yeah.
But I'm Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
And I'm guessing because they fought through the centuries that the wokenness, the broken, whatever's embodying Matt Hardy. But I'm sick of filling in these gaps on my own.
Right.
Because this is a great story I want to sit and watch, not sit and write myself.
Correct. Because this is what ends up happening. We don't get anywhere because they don't go anywhere. Yeah, we're filling in the gaps, but they're not actually progressing the story. So I hope that this either kicks it into gear or we're done with it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Bray Wyatt should win the match. The wrestling match, Bray Wyatt should win the wrestling match. Because Matt Hardy's terrible and Bray Wyatt's a former WWE champion.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right.
All right, the tag team titles are on the line. Cesaro and Sheamus are defending against Titus Worldwide, Apollo, no Cruz, and Titus O'Neil.
I don't give him a bunch of crap for the dropping the Cruz thing.
No,
I get it.
I get it.
Yep. If we had a character in 1994 that was, like
McVeigh,
with Jimmy Simpson, it's like maybe we don't want, what I mean, like we don't want the Simpson thing. You're just Jimmy now, something like that. Terrible analogy, but I get it. For the reasons they dropped the Cruz. I get it. Now we're left with the fact that in no way should this dude's name be Apollo.
Right.
But here we are.
Right. I really like the Titus Worldwide thing. I think they've really turned a corner. I think that adding Dana Brooke has added a lot to them. Go
on.
So They were before Dana Brooke. They were just two black guys that we stuck together, and it was very much.
Yep.
It was very much.
Now they're two black guys, a white chick, and a pizza place.
Yeah, they are.
And she went to school for statistics.
There's just a level of like early New Day fun to this,
Okay.
where it's just like, this is nonsensical. It doesn't really make sense, but I'm having a good time watching this.
I feel like it's three dorks.
Yeah.
Being so dorky it became endearing.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
You know
I
what I mean?
like it. I'm a fan.
I don't dislike it because I don't have any issue with Dana Brooke. I've actually talked to her online a couple times, and she seems like a very, very nice person.
Yeah.
Apollo Crews. I like Duha Nation. I like Apollo Crews. I like Apollo because I like the dude. I think there's a lot of talent.
Right.
And Titus O'Neil
Is
is
there.
harmless.
Yeah, he's there.
Is harmless and fine and tall, and we can put him out there and do stuff. But the bar, I hope, wins, and I think they do.
I think that the bar wins. I don't think that Apollo. I don't think Apollo and Titus Worldwide there are able to take out this team.
Yeah.
All right, our next
Even with Dana Brooke keeping all those stats.
I know. Live stats. Live stats is my
Gotta love
favorite
it.
part about it. Yeah. She's just literally taking.
She's
I'm like,
WWE statistician now. You know how there's all those websites that are like, this is like basically the history of John Cena's career?
Yeah.
She's in charge of that for Titus O'Neil.
yeah.
Is Dana Brooke in charge of the Rumble videos that have all like the statistics and
Exactly.
stuff?
Yeah.
She somehow figured out how many pounds of person have competed in the Royal Rumble. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
Like they're like
Right.
36 tons of men have competed. It's like, what?
Yeah. What poor intern was sitting at his desk, and some producer walked in and goes, "All right, this is what I need you to do. I need you to go through every single
Rumble.
Royal Rumble roster,
Yep.
Get their
and I
weights.
need you to get their weights.
Don't double up
and
anybody.
Add it up
Exactly.
But
That's what it is.
everybody just in once.
Yep, exactly. But I think what they probably did is like The Rock in 99 weighed 240 pounds, and then The Rock in 2000 weighed 240 pounds.
Yeah.
480 pounds of man in the Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah, of course, because that's the way that this company operates.
All right, the next match is Asuka versus Nia Jax, and if Nia wins, she's added to Asuka's championship match at WrestleMania 34.
Everything we talked about to kick it off about why I like the match even taking place. We've said it. I stand by it. Good for them. Asuka might lose. She won't. Nia Jax might win. She won't. But there makes sense as to why either thing could happen because Asuka doesn't need the win because she's already number one contender.
Right.
Nia Jax feels like she's on a path to Alexa Bliss. Now that I don't think Nia Jax is going to win, because we already talked about this, so let's go right into the women's Elimination Chamber to talk about it.
Right.
Who are the competitors in the Elimination
We
Chamber?
have Alexa Bliss, Bailey, Mandy Rose, Mickie James, Sasha Banks, and Sonya Deville.
So now talking out loud with you and thinking out loud with you, because that's the only really way to talk is out loud.
Yeah.
But thinking out loud with you more specifically.
Otherwise, I'd be a telepath.
It would be right, exactly. And we would have a great show, and
But-
we would tell people it was wonderful, but I think it would really lose
Well,
the...
we would use the implant of our minds to tell everybody.
Right, but as
that-
far as an audio perspective, I think that's a
Yeah.
tough drive for
Yeah, it
people
is.
to try
It
to
really-
keep up.
It is.
Now, I was convinced that Alexa Bliss was going to successfully retain her championship. Now that I think Nia Jax doesn't win, but also think that Nia Jax is destined for Alexa Bliss at this WrestleMania, now I kind of think that Bayley's going to win this Elimination Chamber. Sasha Banks is going to get so pissed off about it she turns heel on her, and our Raw Women's match at Mania is Sasha Banks finally winning a title on a pay-per-view at WrestleMania over Bayley.
But what about Asuka? See, the
Well,
issue,
Sasha won at SummerSlam, too.
Yeah, that's right.
the issue with anybody but Bliss winning this Elimination Chamber is that Asuka's a face,
That's right.
and you unless
What if Sasha Banks wins the championship tonight by screwing over Bayley and kind of
starting the heel turn and then we
kickstarting
finish
now,
it tomorrow?
and Asuka comes after Sasha Banks,
yeah,
who
that's
they're
that works.
totally okay with losing at big pay-per-views.
Yeah, because that's the only thing. That's the only way that works. Because
I'm not even telling you I'm
Sonya
predicting it, I'm
Deville,
just thinking about it.
Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose aren't big enough to walk into WrestleMania champion.
Okay.
That's the wrong answer.
All the feedback we're getting on Twitter and online is I love the show, but I can't call. So the lines are open, 508-202-1624.
Yeah, when we're done with the prediction.
Yeah, if you want to give us a call, we can start taking them now, 508-202-1624. If not, we're just going to wrap up the whole thing after the men, so we'll figure it out that way, which is also what people tell us all the time, too, is they don't like to call because they just like to hear us talk. It's supposed to be interactive. But I'm with you. Go on.
Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose are the only two full-blown heels in this thing aside from Alexa Bliss. So having Alexa Bliss not win and having one of the other two heels in this match win makes no sense, because Alexa Bliss, even what's her name? The older woman there.
Mickey James.
The older woman there.
Mickey James. Even Mickey James isn't the worst decision.
Yeah, it is.
It's not as bad as Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
Yeah, I know. Mandy Rose is the worst decision. That fake blonde lady.
I also wouldn't be surprised if they played it out this way and had it like Asuka beats Nia Jax. She's so mad she beats up Mickey James and takes her spot in the chamber.
That could happen too. You never know. I guess I'm predicting I'm going to stick with it as the thought that I had going into this show, which is that Alexa Bliss is going to retain. Obviously, Raw and WWE in general have really high hopes. Not hopes. They've backed a lot into her. They've invested a lot. They committed to her. They think that she's the real deal. There's really no reason to think that she wouldn't walk into this WrestleMania. I guess what I'm predicting is one way or the other is there's some sort of tension between Sasha Banks and Bayley. I would expect Bayley to pin Sasha Banks.
Right.
Banks is so upset about it that it leads to them maybe having a one-on-one or maybe a multi-woman match that's not for the title.
Are they going to put the Hell in a Cell for the women in this WrestleMania? Sasha and Bayley. Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania.
Do another women's Hell in a Cell. Sasha Banks just become Miss Hell in a Cell match for the women.
She becomes Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, that's what it is. WWE Diva Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And
that's what happens.
She's great. I'm sticking with Asuka to beat Nia Jax, and I'm sticking with Bliss to retain.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is now I don't know what to do with Nia Jax, and so maybe she's gonna be in some rando match with like Bayley Bliss and Bayley Banks and Mickey James. I don't know. I don't know what to do with the women that aren't in the title match at WrestleMania yet. Specifically Nia Jax. I can figure out what to do with Bayley and Sasha. That's easy. But I'm really curious because I don't want anybody else in the Asuka match.
No.
It doesn't need to be that. Asuka won a Royal Rumble.
Right.
If we're going to keep the Royal Rumble on par with the men's, she's in the match. That's it. That's her match.
Yep.
She got it. She shouldn't have to deal with another person who might steal this from her.
We shouldn't.
The men don't. So
Yeah.
the women shouldn't. So I hope we stay the course.
What do you think the odds are that Asuka and Nia Jax have a great match, but Asuka wins with like a roll-up or something, and pisses her off, and she goes nuts, and then comes out during the women's elimination chamber and rips the door off and give her that kind of spot and cost Bliss?
Could be.
I would have no problem with that. I would also, because if not for the streak, I would be okay with Nia Jax winning, but she shouldn't.
Right.
If not for protect, I mean, like, I don't want to see somebody. If not for the Royal Rumble, I'd be okay with Nia Jax being like, one way or the other, I'm getting in this match. But the streak shouldn't end tonight, and the Royal Rumble, especially the first one, should feel special enough that we keep it one-on-one.
Sure.
Right.
So, like, this year's just not about Nia Jax, I guess. You know what I mean?
No, it's not.
And maybe
which is tough because I would have had her win this match and have Asuka versus Nia Jax.
See, and I would have, because I although it might be a little premature on the main roster, we have spent so much time doing it that I think the chicken can come out of the oven. I actually would have done Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I would have put the belt on Nia Jax.
And I would have had
by the way.
Asuka wrestle Charlotte.
Exactly. Because people can be like, oh, it's not time. Yes, it is. We have told you over and over and over again that she's undefeated, beaten Bill Goldberg's recognized record, won the Royal Rumble, you know what I mean?
Right.
And Charlotte's the only one that's even close to competition waiting for this chick.
Yep.
Because, again, I'll say it, I would expect Asuka to thrash Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Meanwhile, Charlotte Flair might actually win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's
But
also
it's the Rousey factor.
It's the Rousey factor. But I also think that Rousey and Rock are wrestling Hunter and Stephanie.
Yeah,
That's why she's signing a Raw contract.
But is Asuka announced that she wants?
I don't think Asuka has announced.
Do Asuka and Charlotte. Damn.
Asuka hasn't announced who she wants.
Do Asuka and Charlotte. There's your match. Because what now I got to keep, like, in all due respect, now I got to keep Asuka undefeated another year.
Right.
To have this match be undefeated Asuka versus the best ever Charlotte? No, now's the time.
Or undefeated Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, but I want Asuka and Charlotte. I want the match. I want to see it. I think it's gonna. I want that. And maybe this is the time. And we could still get it. But and then I don't know who I want to win.
All right, let's move on to the men's match. We got Braun Strowman versus Elias, Finn Balor, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and The Miz.
So I have a lot of feelings on this match. My head tells me it's Braun Strowman's year, that Braun Strowman is the guy that's going to come out. I think that the allegations of Roman Reigns and the steroid stuff have gotten more real by the day, and it's come out in the past couple of days that the suspension he served for the Adderall was actually a steroid suspension. And so that's not good. And if more and more things keep coming out, I think that I said it to you before the show, maybe even at the beginning of the show. This is the first time in a long time that the fan base is like, we like Braun Strowman, and WWE goes, oh, so do we. And it's just like, let's just make Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title one-on-one.
This is when to expand on your point about like mutual approval. For the last close to a decade now, right? The fan base has started to push WWE in a direction they didn't want to go.
Right.
Which was, no, we actually really like CM Punk, undersized tattooed guy. No, you don't, pal. You like John Cena and the muscles, right? No, we actually want Daniel Bryan. All 5'9" of them, but we want it. And they go, no, you don't, pal. Look at Batista and all those muscles.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so this is the first time in a long time, like Finn Balor. We like Finn Balor, all 5'10" of them, and the accent.
Yeah.
And they go, no, you don't. Look at Roman Reigns and all those muscles.
Yeah.
And this is the first time, if you see where I'm going with this, where we go, we like Braun Strowman, and Vince goes, so do I. I mean, look at all those muscles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So this is the first time we pitched a guy to Vince that wasn't going to be a temper tantrum.
Right.
Because he actually fits a very traditional World Wrestling Federation
he's big
mold.
And he's strong. And it's like, you've spent all year, like, I expect a all-time WWE moment tonight. He's going to lift up one of those pods. Like, he's not going to be able to lift up the chamber.
What's the best pod spot to date? Is it Goldberg putting
Spearing.
Jericho through it?
Yeah, that has to be it. So this one has to be like somehow The Miz like makes Braun Strowman mad, or his pod doesn't open and he just lifts the thing up to get out.
Yeah.
Because
Yes,
now the pods
please.
go up. They don't go. They're
Yeah.
not circular anymore. They
Yeah.
they condense the cage.
Any of that.
So now the pods go up.
Any of that. Do
But
any of that.
that's it. Is Miz tries to get into a pod and to hide, and he isn't finished with him. And
gonna get these hands.
he rips the pod off of the cell or
Yep.
something. But that's the type of spot that Braun Strowman's going to get, and they're going to give him something like that. And if you're all in that way, then yeah, go all the way. Let him win this thing to face Brock Lesnar for the Universal title, because your entire fan base wants it. You close shows now where Braun Strowman is just body slamming the Miztourage for 10 minutes.
Yep.
It's like the crowd just chants one more time, and
He's
does
the
it.
most popular babyface in the company other than AJ Styles, and I'm not even sure AJ
Right.
Styles is more popular. I just think it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, of course, everybody loves AJ Styles.
Right.
It's like I consider AJ Styles, honest to God, on the same plane, popularity-wise, not career-wise as Jericho, where it's like, yeah, just everybody likes Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
everybody likes AJ Styles. Who doesn't like AJ Styles?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, some people don't like Braun Strowman. Some people don't like John Cena. Some people don't like Finn Balor. Who doesn't like Chris Jericho? Who doesn't like AJ Styles?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's who it is. And Braun Strowman, of all the guys that are, some do and some don't, more people do than don't. And certainly more than anybody else you're offering. Does he win, though?
I think he does.
I think two people pin him to protect him. And like Strowman, like Reigns and Rollins just double team the crap out of him Shield style and like double pin him to protect him. But I don't want to be the downer. I just really think Roman Reigns wins.
See, I think Roman Reigns is the guy that Braun Strowman beats.
I hope you're right.
But
I just think that, and maybe I'm supposed to feel this way, and good for them if this is the case. But classic WWE tells me, like, came real close in the Rumble, so we know he's a contender.
Right.
Got first out in the gauntlet, so he slides under the radar, winds up winning the next big match, especially when it's the match we've been talking about for a year anyway and knew it was going to happen.
I just think the steroid stuff is real.
It is real.
It
is real.
And
it's not. It's very real. I don't think you're crazy. I just still think until I see it, I think the plan is Braun and
the answer
and
that I have to that about Roman Reigns being so close in the Royal Rumble is that they've been touting Finn Balor as the hero that didn't win, not Roman Reigns.
Yep.
So my heart wants it to be Finn Balor more than anything. And I love Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
But my heart wants it to be Finn Balor.
I hear that.
Because you can't keep dangling that carrot of, I'm getting the title I never lost. I want a one-on-one opportunity with Brock Lesnar for the title I never lost.
Yep.
And it's like, that's the best story. And then the demon faces the beast. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, see, there's nothing about what you said that's wrong.
I know.
It's not like I'm sitting here being like, nah, that's crazy talk. That one of the most intriguing parts of this Elimination Chamber is that although I don't believe the Drifter to win tonight, he did pin John Cena to get in this thing. So who knows? Like, obviously, he's the last person on the list as far as reasonable going to win, right? His odds are the most astronomical. I gotcha. But here's the thing about this chamber. Roman Reigns is probably going to win because he's Roman Reigns. John Cena could win because at any given time, John Cena could win the women's title if he wants it.
Oh, jeez, I know.
Braun Strowman could win because Braun Strowman has been Braun Strowmaning all year, and people love him, and he feels like he could win anything at any time. Seth Rollins just got a massive spotlight with a 65-minute all-time performance. That might mean something. And Finn Balor has never lost his championship.
Well, and he also was the Iron Man of the Royal Rumble, which they keep bringing up.
Yep.
And to WWE's credit, it feels like they've reinvested in Finn Balor.
Yep, and The Miz is the Intercontinental Champion, and who knows. So the credit that goes to WWE needs to be on the table. There are 5, because The Miz and Drifter aren't going to win.
No.
There are 5 real, it feels like, to their credit,
Yeah.
the Royal Rumble. There are like 5 people that might. 1 person who probably will, but 5 people that actually might. And that's a fun feeling going in. I do think it'll be Roman Reigns. And I don't want to be right, not because I don't like Roman Reigns, because that's not the case. But I'm a ticket holder to my 4th straight WrestleMania.
Yep.
And I'm sick and tired of boos. Roman Reigns came out, he's supposed to be the big baby face at WrestleMania 31, and he came out to the loudest boo I had ever, at the time, before Dallas, the loudest boo I had ever heard for anyone, yet alone a baby face. I don't want to do that. I want to sit there and have a good time, not just be nervous that Brock Lesnar's not going to win, so this place goes home sad. And then
it was a self-fulfilling prophecy, because the next year it happened.
Exactly. And then in Dallas, now the loudest boos I've ever heard for anyone, yet alone a babyface, closes the show. Orlando, I have to watch The Undertaker retire, which is super duper sad, and then it started with boos, and then everybody was couldn't even be like that sad because everybody was so angry that Roman Reigns did it.
Yeah.
I need a break. Yep. I want a break. New Orleans is the break. I need a break from the show ending with people booing at Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
If you're a Roman Reigns fan, don't you want a break? Don't you want a break from your favorite guy getting booed out of the building to close this show?
Yeah.
We all need the break. So I don't want it to be Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. The but about it might be that Styles and Nakamura might go on last. Fine.
Right.
But I don't want it. I just don't. I'm going to be a petulant little child about this and say I don't want it. I want to like both title matches.
Yeah.
Fuck me, right?
Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar or Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar and AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura are 3 title matches that are worth watching.
Yeah.
And people are excited about those 3, not Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar.
Right.
So,
if anything, the 2 people that should be ahead of Roman Reigns in line from kayfabe are Cena and Balor. Balor, I never lost my title, right? So when do
I should get a one-on-one shot at it.
And then if I'm John Cena, I'm like, hey, I'm John Cena. And you know what's even more impressive than 16 suplexes? 17 titles. There's your poster. Oh!
Yeah, right.
Drives me nuts. Do the right thing. Who wins?
I still think Braun Strowman.
Roman Reigns.
Strowman.
Unfortunately, but dudes, you could be totally right on this one. There's a storm cloud coming straight at Roman Reigns with these steroid allegations, and Braun Strowman, it feels like his year, and to their credit, he doesn't lose these big matches. As you and I said, Survivor Series, it was not down to Hunter and Shane. It was down to Hunter and Strowman and Shane.
Yeah.
Because Strowman wasn't going to get pinned that night. Kane ate the pin from Brock Lesnar. We're doing this. I gotcha. He pins Roman Reigns
in order to
pay-per-views.
get out of the TLC match. Everybody in the match, everybody threw him into a dumpster.
Exactly, right.
Threw him into a garbage truck and closed the thing.
The only way he would lose tonight is, again, as I said, it would
The
be
entire elimination chamber would have to pin him.
and especially like Shield style, like spears into curb stomps, into spears,
into coup de grace,
into double
into
pin.
AAs,
Right.
into
They would
drift-aways.
It would have to be the equivalent of just finally knocking a building onto him this time.
Right.
It would have to feel like. I'm rooting for Finn. I want Strowman because I think it's the only other realistic option other than the guy I'm predicting, which is Roman Reigns, who would put on a fine match with Lesnar.
Right. I don't want to experience it.
There's going to be 59,000 other people that don't believe it.
That's my issue. My issue is that I've experienced the Roman Reigns match 4 times, or this will be the 4th time.
Yep.
And the past 3 times, which is now a trend, is that they're the same. Nobody is on board. Nobody's on board, so give him something else to do.
Give him a break.
That we could potentially be on board with.
And if you're a Roman Reigns fan and he wins the tag titles with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, people will cheer.
Right.
Don't you want them to cheer?
Especially if it goes on in the middle of the show, because that's part of the problem, too. It's like, Roman Reigns last year did not wrestle for the Universal or WWE Championship, but he went on last.
And he closed the show to boos.
Right.
Right? I had to boo the guy, and...
I had to boo the guy, and then Undertaker retired.
Right, and then again, the vibe in that building was that it wasn't like this somber sadness; it was this anger sadness.
Right,
because so many people in the building, not us.
Yeah.
To be fair, not us who just stood there and clapped and cheered for the Undertaker because we knew what we were looking at. But the vibe in the building was like, I can't believe this is the fucking guy. You know what I mean? It was like Joe Pesci in Home Alone. It was just, it was just like, razzle, frazzle.
Yeah, can't say.
Yeah, just the movie's just Joe Pesci trying not to swear.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for joining us. We hope you enjoy Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
If you want to become a Patreon and join the 3 of us and dozens at this point of people, tens of people, 61 people and
dozens
counting.
and dozens.
And dozens.
Yeah.
Lots of people that have been joining the New Age Insiders Patreon lately. We're getting a ton of great feedback. It's because it's awesome people joining forces to have a great time and be positive and have fun. We like these shows. And sometimes during SmackDown, guess what? It's super boring. And we have more fun talking to each other than we do watching SmackDown. There, I said it. But tonight's going to be a great show. We'll be there with the Patreons tonight. Please become a Patreon. There's also a huge backlog of shows. We do 5 exclusive shows a month, including Be Heard, a show that you out there help handcraft and shape. The most recent edition we did was AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and is WWE going to stick to their guns? We've talked about The Undertaker's legacy. We've talked about CM Punk's future in pro wrestling. We've talked about all sorts of fun stuff. All of it's available. You get the whole backlog.
All of it.
And you got to move forward with the New Age Insiders. Go to patreon.com/New Age Insiders. Make sure that you are following along on twitch.tv Facebook.com/New Age Insiders Pop. Subscribe on our Twitch. It's becoming a Wednesday night tradition. We're doing these pre and post shows on Twitch. If we do these breaking special editions, like when Hulk Hogan does
Said something racist.
right, or John Cena got hurt before Mania season like he did going into Dallas, and we do these live breaking special editions, we'll do it here on Twitch. You've got to follow and subscribe to our YouTube, youtube.com/New Age Insiders. The guys from the Rant with Ant, who are huge hands-on parts of Pop, New Age Insiders Pop, as well as our YouTube, what we've got going on NAI Wrestling. Check out what the Rant with Ant guys and the New Age Insiders guys do as we join forces to become a better, more cohesive New Age Insiders than ever. You have to follow youtube.com/New Age Insiders, the Twitch, the Facebook, the Instagram. Become a Patreon. Get the shirts.
Come
Do it all.
to WrestleMania.
Yes.
Come to WrestleMania. We're going in like 6 weeks to New
Holy
Orleans.
crap.
If you're going, we're going to be there.
I'm going to Austin first. We can road trip from Austin.
It's going to be an amazing, amazing time. We're going to be road tripping and vlogging, and we cannot wait to see you all out there. If you're going to New Orleans, let us know. Big group plans. We always are bouncing around from wrestling shows and restaurants. We love to see you guys out there. Please let us know if you're going to New Orleans. Enjoy Elimination Chamber and come right back here afterwards. Your calls, 508-202-1624. Reactions from around the globe. What happened? Who's going to WrestleMania with the New Age Insiders? Woo! We hope it's Braun Strowman. We hope that it's you. And we hope that you have enjoyed this show. My name has been Jason Malta.
I am Liam Stryker.
And I'm Bill Neville.
We're the New Age Insiders. You can find us on Twitter. Please do. We are at New Age Insiders, at Liam NAI, at Bill Neville NAI. Check out the NAI Wrestling Network. New Age, I'm going to keep calling it B-Pop. It's B-Pop and Rocksteady on iTunes.
Is that our music channel?
Yeah, exactly. iTunes and it's B-Pop and Rocksteady on iTunes. Podomatic, Globe Normal.
Coming 2019.
B-Pop and Rocksteady. Spotify, Google Play, YouTube, Twitch. We're everywhere. We want you to be there too with us, because altogether we're the premier place for wrestling fans to connect, discuss, and to be heard.
We out.
Give that back. Believing in yourself, you gotta live like that. Now look at the boy. I got a family.